fancy glass today?
Bougie. I'm once again using my Whiz Fizz glass.
You are listening to Rent Free in My Head, the podcast where we take the fucking hell.
Sorry, I stopped the minute I realised you were watching me.
I was like, what's she? And I'm like, oh, she's doing it in time with me. And I'm like, I don't remember the next line. I'm too busy staring at her.
I was like doing it, and then I glanced at it, I was like, oh fuck, he's watching me, stop doing it. And then as I stopped doing it, you were like, ugh. My bad.
Oopsie! You are listening to Rent Free in My Head, the podcast where we take the thoughts squatting in our minds and set them up with residence in yours, free of charge. Each week, Kirstyn tells me a horrific tale of a true crime.
It's not that horrific this week. And Jeramie just deeply, deeply, deeply frustrates me. And I say this every week because you do frustrate me every week, especially last week when you made me realize even more how fucking dumb I am.
Well, I can confirm you are not super dumb. You're not the only person that fell for it.
That's very true.
So, Oklahoma has asked me to let you know that she also fell for it.
Yes! Yes, bitch!
So, I guess
that.
that's just another reason you two are bestie bitches.
Yeah. Fuck oath, babe. Fuck oath.
I had actually said in advance before she started listening to it, I'm like, oh, there's like a special challenge this week. See if you can figure out what I've done. And I just kept getting periodic messages throughout being like of her trying to figure out what it was. She's like, well, you're drinking vodka, that's different. Oh, you corrected Kirstyn. I'm like, that's normal.
That's pretty fucking standard.
Oh, it's because you said Star Wars. And I'm like, I mean, that did piss her off, but that's not the thing. And then, I finally got a message being like, oh my God, you did. So, she fell for it too. Her exact words were, tell Kirstyn she's not that dumb because I fell for it too.
Thank you. I appreciate that, though. I really do. I feel a little less dumb now.
Just a little.
Just like a little bit, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, how the fuck did I not realize?
I am honestly so proud of that, though, and I don't think I can ever do anything better than that. No, you will
never top that. That was fucking brilliant.
I may as well, quit life while I'm ahead, because that will be my greatest achievement ever.
Literally.
Which is kind of sad.
You've peaked, man. Like those people that are like, oh, you peaked in high school? No, Jeramie, you peaked last week.
I did.
That was your peak. Damn.
I did also realise, so this is episode 14, which means next week, episode 15, we will have been, I don't want to say on the air, because, we're not on the air, but, we will have been public and out for 3 months. Oh my God. Because that'll be, we had 3 episodes
ready
that launched on the first day, and then it'll be 12 since. So,
damn, that's exciting.
That is kind of exciting. We'd like to go longer than that, so
support us in any way you can. Also, I have been looking into merch.
Oh, that's exciting.
Options. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm curious. You're gonna have to fill me in on that a bit later.
Yes.
But to those listening, before we jump in, anything you can do to help us get the word out and reach more people would be greatly appreciated. Share us, yell at your friends, scream at random people on the street.
Force your friends to listen to it in the car when they're driving with you.
Do it. Have your friends come over, lock the doors, and just put it on the radio. Well, not on the radio because we're not on the radio. But
you could do what my mum does, and I think what Cindy's done it a couple of times too. They work in a pub, and they put it on the pub speakers sometimes.
Nice.
And just force the whole pub to listen to it.
That needs to be made, like, mandatory across the country.
You know.
Us playing in pubs. Constantly.
I'm sure that every drunk person will enjoy that.
Yes. But yes, share our socials. We're on YouTube now. Yay! I ended up getting that done a lot quicker than I thought. I was like, no, it won't be by the time this episode goes live. Last week it was literally before that episode went live. Whoops.
Crushing the game.
But
actually, special shout out to Miss Curly for being our YouTube queen and pestering us about getting onto YouTube. We've done it just for you. That's what we were talking about.
She has been listening, and I think she has been thoroughly enjoying it too.
Yeah, she called me the funny one.
Yeah, she was telling me, listening to the first episode, she was like, Kirstyn's so funny and you're so serious, and I'm like, that's going to change the next episode you listen to.
Yeah, she said that to me as well, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let her enjoy. I'm going to let her go down that rabbit hole and see how it changes from week to week. We kind of trade places on who's the serious one and who's the funny one and who won't shut the fuck up. And then some weeks...
It's kind of a lucky dip. Like, we don't even know what you're going to get until we do it. Half the time, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth until it's already out.
What a fat fucking mood. I, never know. Comes out and I'm like, oh, that just said that.
That's what we're saying today? Okay. How was your week, Kirstyn?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been a pretty hectic week. I haven't been feeling the best. I think I got that super cold that's been going around. And then I've been working a lot. And I also just found out last night that I will no longer get to hang out with my mini bestie every Tuesday.
Oh, well, that's not fun.
No. So next week is my last week with him. Which I'm a little bit sad about. But, shit happens. It was a good opportunity while it lasted. Other than that, I worked and slept. Jeramie, did anything exciting happening in your week?
Well, I did watch a grown man sneeze multiple times in public without covering his mouth once, which is yucky enough as it is, and then I have the extra factor to add on that he was sneezing directly onto his baby, which, here's my hot take for the week. Don't sneeze on babies.
What the fuck? Actually, that doesn't even surprise me because I watched a fucking old lady literally go like this, but hack into her fucking hand. And I was like, ew. And then she used that hand to pay.
Yucky.
Anyway, because I had such a hectic week, I really slacked off this week. And I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone, especially Jeramie, because he has put up with my shit. And me freaking out today, being like, Jeramie, I don't know if we can record today. I haven't done my notes yet. I don't know. Can we do it on Sunday? Because neither of us can do it tomorrow. And then you being like, girl, no, we can't fucking do it on Sunday. But maybe if we do it then. And I was like, yes, we can do it then. And then I was like, wait, I have plans with my sister. No, I can't do it then. So...
We got there in the end. We found a solution. It's fine.
It's not a super great solution, guys. And my case this week is not really a case. And it's just a bit of fun. So, I'm first going to read you a bit of an article that I found, just because I think it's funny.
Okay.
And then I'm going to read you a story.
So it's kind of like bedtime stories. That's cute.
yes. It still has bad stuff happening in it. But yes!
Yay! Bad stuff!
This headline. Now, I came across this headline ages ago, just when I was, like, Googling random shit for a case to do. And I was like, I need to figure out a time to tell Jeramie this, just because I think it's not funny for the person it happens to.
Okay.
But I think it's fucking funny.
This isn't hashtag sexy drugs again, is it?
I mean,
Because you already did hashtag sexy drugs.
Okay. It involves
And that's
drugs.
exactly how you set that up as well.
It involves drugs. And it involves sex. But it's not the same thing.
Okay.
So this is from September 2013. Man's penis amputated after Viagra overdose. What? Right? I was like, what the fuck?
They cut off his pee-pee!
Oh, yeah. So, a Colombian man has had his penis amputated by doctors after he intentionally took too much Viagra in an attempt to impress his new girlfriend with his sexual prowess.
But how much Viagra is too much Viagra?
I feel like you're only supposed to take, like, one every 4 hours, isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, you would be more likely to take Viagra than me, Jeramie. How many Viagra? I just want to be like, how many Viagra bad?
That's a Kirstyn sentence for sure.
How many Viagra pills can you take?
That is why I do the show notes and all of, like, the main posts and everything.
Why? Because you're concerned mine would literally just be, JerBear does the bad and hurt Kirstyn feeling.
Yes.
Kirstyn does the bad and hurt JerBear feeling.
100%.
I think that they would like it. Oh, lol, apparently you're only supposed to take one. Oh.
Like, ever?
Oh,
Like, in your whole life?
No, I assume you can take like... I'm sorry, I just clicked on drugs.com. No more, be sure. And that's it. How many pills can you safely take at a time in reference to Viagra? And someone's like, 1, don't abuse this stuff. It can damage you permanently. No fun after that happens. Hope this helps.
Well, yeah, because they chop your dick off.
Okay, but also, similar questions. I am 70 years, but in good health. Erection is very, very short time. Can I use Viagra?
Please let this just be your whole segment.
What a fucking mood. This is brilliant.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss
Viagra.
questions people have asked on the internet about Viagra.
Has anyone had children while the husband/boyfriend is taking Viagra? Bestie,
Okay.
it doesn't, inhibit your little swimmers.
Okay, but I think we may have just stumbled onto because we keep trying to figure out what we want to do as, like, a monthly bonus episode.
Oh, that's true.
A random cold deep dive into just some random burning
topic.
question that we have at a time. That could be interesting.
I do like this.
Do it
idea.
after a normal episode once we're already drunk.
Yes.
And then we just pick a random thing and go down that rabbit hole. Like that time that I spent ages looking into ownership of rabbits in Queensland instead of editing.
That's fair. I looked up the word was for people that are sexually attracted to mannequins the other day.
What is that?
Oh god, it was a hard word. What's it?
Meaning it had more than 4 letters. That's what qualifies to be a hard word for Kirstyn.
Yes! When person wants to sex mannequin. How the fuck do you spell mannequin? That looks right.
Mannequin.
Crushed it.
Mannequin.
Mannequin.
Have you ever seen the movie Mannequin?
Is it about mannequins?
Yeah, it's like an 80s, 90s movie, and it is a man, like, oh shit, what is it? Like an Egyptian goddess gets put into into a mannequin, and everyone else only sees the mannequin, and this one man sees her come to life and falls in love. I don't know,
That's kind of cute.
Google it.
I will.
It's fucking wacky. It's like that comedy horror movie Idle Hands, where the dude gets a hand transplant, but they're the hands of a serial killer, so then his hands have a life of their own and he starts killing people. That's got Devon Sawa in it, the dude from the first Final Destination. The dude who has the vision.
Okay.
Who also was in Nikita. Fucking love that show.
What a good show. Alright, it's called Agalmatophilia. Crushed it.
Hang on.
Absolutely crushed it.
How would you say that?
Yeah, how would you say that?
Agalmatophilia.
Oh, that makes more sense.
It comes from ancient Greek agalma, meaning statue.
And philia, meaning love. Ew, does that mean pedophilia is technically like child
No.
love?
Using the etymology.
Etymology.
That's just the etymology of the word, that philia was ancient Greek for love, and that's where paraphilia comes from, because para is abnormal, like paranormal. So it's like unusual love, but it's not love, it's
something nasty. In relation to pedophilia, everything else, like you do actually know necrophilia, that's pretty gross, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Oh, bestiality, also really gross. That's a no from me. But anyway, so back to this lovely gentleman.
Yes, that was a tangent.
So he apparently, I have his name too. Ramirez Polania then suffered an erection for several days.
Oh, that is suffering.
Going to a nearby hospital after complaining about the pain. Okay, I'm sorry, but after like a couple of hours, wouldn't you be like, bruh, you should be going down? Doctors found the 66-year-old farmer's penis to be inflamed, fractured, and showing signs of gangrene. This is why you don't wait weeks to go to the fucking hospital, you crackheads. Especially if it's your dick.
Yeah.
God.
Which is so odd, because you would think, like...
he would care more about his dick.
Yes, that is most men's, like, prized possession.
Literally, though. Like, not really sure why they aren't all that great. In an effort to stop the gangrene from spreading to the rest of the man's body, doctors say they had no option but to remove his penis. The patient showed bruising on the testicles and penis, was treated, and is recovering well. At the same time, the hospital was like, y'all, please do not fucking use penis-enhancing drugs without prescription. This fucker got his penis cut off. And I just... also, his hometown is gigantic. And that's just the ending
Well,
of
his
that.
bulge no longer is gigantic.
No. Do you reckon his girlfriend stayed with him, or do you reckon she dumped him?
My question is, did he manage to impress her?
You know,
because that was his whole goal.
Him just for being that stupid.
That's fair.
I'm not going to the doctor sooner. That's like, have you seen Love and Other Drugs? The guy in that takes Viagra and his dick won't go down, so he goes to the hospital and gets it fixed straight away. But just saying.
Which is what you should do. It literally says, if erection persists for longer than 4 hours, seek medical assistance. Not several weeks. That's...
Also, I'm going to really laugh if people ever look at my search history, because I literally just googled how to get Viagra Queensland.
Oh, yeah, my search history is just as strange. I
Oh, it's only $14 at Chemist Warehouse. That's pretty good. Anyway, so that was just like a little fun tidbit that I wanted to share with you because I came across it again and I just wanted to tell you because it made me giggle so much. Because my man really thought to wait weeks before going to the doctor.
It's just a dick. It's not that important.
Yeah, I feel like it's not. But then, this is where I get soups lazy. So, a couple of weeks ago, I read a story to you guys about the Queens of Surrey Hill from the website Rejected Princesses. Now, because I didn't have time because I was sleeping and my brain was not working this week, I didn't write my notes. So, once again, I'm going to be reading you a story from the Rejected Princesses site.
For the record, too, this is the one time that I actually knew going in what your case was because I suggested it.
And then I shit all over you.
Planned accordingly to make sure that I didn't go for like a depressing case, that I found one that was
a little bit
wacky
upbeat
and
like...
a little bit different. It's just to like counteract what you were going to talk about, and then you turn to me and go, I don't have a case.
Yeah.
So, like, so that'll be fun next week. I guess I'll just find a different one to use.
Hopefully it's just as upbeat.
I wouldn't necessarily say this one's upbeat. Like, it's not depressing. It's not sad, but it's not like happy. It's just strange and weird.
That's cool. I just realized I should probably say the author, but
it's usually a good idea.
Okay, it doesn't actually tell me the author, or maybe it doesn't. I'm just fucking blind. Let's be honest. That's a fair assumption.
Well, you should actually have something over your eyes that would help you see, but of course, once again, you do not.
Okay. Can I just point out, I wear glasses for distance, Jeramie. My computer's right in front of me.
And yet you can't read it.
I'm reading it, I just can't see an author.
Maybe if you wore your glasses, you would see an author. Maybe it's in the distance.
No. Anyway, shout out once again to this fucking website, rejectedprincesses.com. It is a super fun website where you can learn all about random bits of history, particularly women. There are some men's stories on there, which trash, I know, but there are a lot of female-centered stories, and they do span the ages and are about a lot of different things. Like, when I was scrolling through to find this one, I saw like 6 others that I want to read and learn about. So I low-key did think about just reading them all to you, and then I was like, no, this is a crime book. Like, my section is crime, Kirstyn. It has to at least relate to crime.
Yes.
So, the story I will be telling you this week is Timoclea, the woman who threw her rapist in the well.
Oh.
My kind of woman. And this is set in 4th century BCE. But I see your face, Jeramie. Fuck you.
What?
The sourcing...
No, you didn't hear what I said.
What did you say?
You said she threw her rapist down a well, and I was like, oh, well then. It's not as fun when I have to repeat my jokes.
Oh my god, you're such a you're such a drama queen. Being so Emily.
It's my birthday, you have to be nice to me.
It's your birthday in like a week and a half.
The whole month is my birthday, you know this. And you know what? If you're not going to accept that excuse, then I will come back at you with, how dare you hate crime me like this in pride of all months.
Fuck's sake, I knew you were going to do that. I was like, if it's not going to use birthday, he's going to use pride.
I have both up my sleeve for the same month.
I was talking to Bean Pie today about you, and I was like, JerBear is a big birthday person. Because I was like, oh, we've got to figure out what we're going to record next year, like, week, or, like, how we're going to figure it out. And she was like, oh, is he, like, someone that does, like, a birthday week? And I was like, Week. Sure. In my head, I'm like, this fucker milks it the whole month. Fuck, you talking about week 4? But you know, it's guess we love you, so it's okay. So
how could you not?
I'm kidding. Even though this is from the 4th century, the story is sourced from 2 different works of Plutarch, and they do have subtle differences, but the author has chosen a mix of the 2 of them to make it a more dramatic retelling. But I'm just assuming this is a woman, and I'm going to roll with that. Okay. She's not making anything up, and there are links to her sources at the bottom of the entry. So if you are interested in what I'm about to say, and you're like, nah bitch, that's fucking wrong, you can head to rejectedprincesses.com to McLean and legit fucking check out the citations. And yeah, you can basically just suck my dick, because I want to read it anyway.
I will not be doing that, but sure.
Just wanted to give you the option. Yeah. So, when Alexander the Great took the city of Thebes, he did so with the help of a number of unsavory soldier conscripts. In the aftermath, a captain, who I might add is also named Alexander, but she didn't put it in there because she was like, that's fucking confusing.
Fair. Maybe have a less generic name.
Maybe just be a less shitty person.
That too. But, like, I feel like there's a lot you can do with Alexander nickname-wise. Like, I mean, Alex,
Xander.
Lex,
Xander.
You can even go for you can even go for Zandy.
Zandy, that's kind of cute.
My second favourite Shifa Sib.
In the aftermath, a captain looted the house of Timocles, a Theban noble. He demanded her servants serve him food and wine, and then he raped her, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, don't do that.
She then proceeded to murder him in a memorable fashion. This is her story. I love her.
In this situation, do that.
Oh yeah, fully murder someone if they're raping you.
I said doo-doo.
I fucking knew you were going to do that. I watched your brain process it. And I was like, he's going to laugh at doo-doo.
I even purposely paused between the 2 doos so that I didn't straight up say doo-doo, and still then my brain was like, yeah, you said doo-doo.
Alright, so. After the assault, he did what every trashy person that identifies as male does. He refused to leave. I'm saying that after you rape someone. Most of the time after sex, they'll just fuck off, which is kind of handy. Instead, he began to flatter her, because that's what every woman wants after you've just forced them to have sex with you. Also, purely for my own entertainment and yours, I'm gonna do voices.
Okay, but so the other day I was on the phone to Mateo and I was telling him a story, and then all of a sudden he's just like, what's with the voice? I'm like, what voice? And he's like, you're talking with an accent. And I was like, oh, am I? And he's like, well, not anymore. I'm like, oh, that happens sometimes. Like, I'll just be talking and then halfway through a sentence, all of a sudden I'm talking in a different voice and I don't even know.
What a mood.
And he's like, yeah, I could tell because you literally just changed mid-sentence then. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, I'm like, have you not noticed this before? And he's like, oh, here and there. It's gotten more frequent recently, though. I'm like, it happens the most when I interact with Kirstyn because she's just as bad for it.
I have so many people ask me where I'm from. And I just look at them and I'm like, what? And they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, the fuck you mean, where am I from? I'm in Australia. I'm from Australia. I actually had my vet once who turned around to me and she's like, oh, I like your accent. Canadian? And I was like, no? And she's like, American? And I was like, Australian. And she's like, oh.
American's offensive. Canadian.
Right?
Canadian we'll take. We love Canada.
But you know what's so funny? Is she was like, I asked if you were Canadian because I didn't want to offend you by asking you if you were American. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, mood.
On the note of Canada, though.
Canada.
I actually had a Canadian listener tell me last night that they couldn't get over. So in episode 3, when we were talking about the Somerton Man and the whole 22 degrees warm summer's night incident ensued, they couldn't get over us saying that 22 degrees was not warm, because to them, anything over 20 degrees is, I'm not going outside. That's gross. And I'm like, oh, Canada and Queensland are not the same place then.
Do they use Celsius?
They also use Celsius, which, funnily enough, this was in a group chat with Americans, Canadians, like people all over the world. And because it started as me speaking to Canadians in Celsius, suddenly the Americans jumped in and were talking in Celsius. And I'm like, see how easy it is? Let's just convert. Join us. Save having to Google what we're talking about so that you can understand.
I'm still stuck on that they won't go outside if it's past 20 degrees. That's fucking not hot.
No, it's not. That's comfortable. But I also was like, fair, because another Canadian chimed in and was like, oh, it's going to be 15 degrees tomorrow. And I was like, or 16 degrees tomorrow. I'm like, oh, that's perfect flano weather. Had to explain what a flano was. Here I am once again teaching the international people the
joys of Australia.
Ways of Australian language, which they've clued on to the fact that A, we don't like to use full words, and B, our go-to is shorten the word and add an O on the end.
That's fair.
Which I'm all here for. They were like, yeah, I was like, oh, that's perfect flano weather. And they were like, nah, I'll be wearing shorts. And I'm like, no.
Actually.
And they're like, yeah, the second it gets over 15 degrees, you'll see everyone in Canada, which I'm calling it that from now on. Well, I've always called it that, but Canada they'll put on their summer clothes. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, it goes below 20 degrees in Queensland and everyone loses their fucking mind.
But my dad's the same, because he lives in a really cold place. He'll still be, like, wearing his fucking shorts. And I'm like, are you not cold? He's like, no, fine. Alright.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna be honest with you here. You're classy. Not like most girls, you know? I could see us together, like, for real. But you gotta be honest with me in return first. Because I bet you're lying. I just know you're way richer than this. You and your servants hit all the good stuff, eh? I ain't mad. That's smart. You're smart. But you gotta tell me where it is. I'm gonna continue.
Where what is? The G-spot?
Fucking probably. I don't think he can find it. Not like you've got a lot of options. Be with me, and I'll treat you like a wife. A queen. Oh my god. Ugh. Or hold out. See what happens. Find out how we treat women who show disrespect. After all, we're in charge now. Look how big my dick is. I'm just gonna swing it around like a cool kid. Obviously that part was me.
We're in charge now, as if men haven't been in charge like,
oh my god,
forever.
But wait, have you seen that fucking video going around? And it's of these 4 people. It's 2 younger people and 2 older people sitting down talking about just like everything. And the white woman says to the a person of color who's a young male says, she says, I'm privileged. She's white. She's like, I'm privileged. You're privileged. We have to recognize our own privileges. And he turns around and he's like, I'm privileged. How could you say that to me? You know nothing about me. And she was like, well, for starters, you're a dude. That's your privilege, bestie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns around and he was like, he goes, oh, did you know that most men are the ones who commit suicide? Most men's other, ones going to war. Most men are the ones doing this. Men are doing this. Men are doing this. Men are doing this. And it's basically being like, oh, woe is me. Being a man is hard. And he's like, you know, men are the ones who went to war. Men are the ones who did this. Like, we sacrifice so much. And then she just fucking, no fucking cap, does not miss a beat, and just turns around and goes, and who set up that system?
Yeah.
And he's just, his face is just, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking men.
But
anyway,
we do all each have our own privileges in some. We are all privileged in some way or another.
I know that I'm more privileged than, say, a woman of colour.
Yeah.
I'm privileged because I'm white over her. That's my privilege over her. I'm white, so I don't get that racist bullshit that she has to deal with. However, if it was in terms of you and I, just people looking at us, you would be more privileged than me because you are a white male. If you take into the fact that you're not straight, that brings you down a notch. But then I also come down a notch because I'm also not straight.
Yeah, so it's a weird,
people. You're right. My old life vanished.
What if I read hers and you read his?
That's kind of funny. Wait, no, but I don't think he has any more lines.
Oh.
No. He doesn't. That's fucking depressing. Alright. Okay.
Next time we find a situation like this, we'll do it that way.
Yes, I agree. Okay. You're right. My old life vanished once Thebes fell. I could fight you, but I wouldn't win. I can die, or I can accept my fate and move on. I choose to live. So yes, I did hide some gold and silver in a dry well at the edge of the property. Here it is. She holds out a little lantern. He takes the geese down. She shoves the fucker in. He yells, "Ah, you cunt!" That's the first thing that popped in my head. So she throws a rock on him. And then it's, how long did she hurl stones at her rapist? How did she yell as she What? I can't fucking read. How long did she hurl stones at her rapist? What? Why can't I fucking read this sentence? What did she yell as she slowly buried him? On these matters, the histories are silent. Mistress? What? Want some help? And then it's like fucking 4 women with rocks fucking getting ready to yeet it on this fucker.
Fuck yeah.
I know, right? What a boss-ass bitch. Soon after, the rapist's body was discovered. The picture for this one is like a little soldier being like this. Like he's about to vomit. And soldiers brought Timocles to Alexander. She met him with defiance. I am Timocles, sister of... What the fuck is that name? Alright, whatever. I am Timocles, sister of Theogenes, who gave his life fighting you. He died so
If
that...
it's...
It's Thea genes. Like
yeah, but if it's ancient times, it would be Genus. Theogenes.
Oh my god, Jeramie.
Like, if we're talking ancient Greek...
Yes.
Yeah, if it's ancient Greek, it would be...
Sister of Theogenes. What?
Theogenes.
I'm gonna fuck it up again, but I will. I am Timocles, sister of...
Basically, the genes would be... Basically, the genes would be Genus.
Alright, I am Timocles, sister of Theogenes. Is that it?
That'll do. We'll just go with that.
How you were saying it, is it?
I was saying Theogenes, but Theogenes could also be wrong. It could be Theogenes.
Okay. I am Timocles.
It's a potato situation. Oh!
Don't get me
what did you text me the other day?
No,
what did you text me the other day?
So bad! Okay, guys. So the other day, I was fucking playing my little village farm game. And in my game, I have to plant vegetables, right? And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, I need to make potato chips. And I need to make potato bread. And I was like, okay, cool. So I need to plant some potatoes. I fucking auto-corrected myself to potatoes. I was sitting, my brain process was literally like, oh, I need to plant some potatoes. And then I was like, potatoes? And then I was like, oh, right, yeah, potatoes. I need to plant potatoes. And then I realized, and I stopped, and I fucking stared at my phone and was like, why? Why? I'll tell you why, because I'm friends with Jeramie.
I was so happy when I got that message. I was like, fuck yes, I converted her. Speak my language.
Moving on from Jeramie being a little shit and poisoning me, I am Timothy, sister of Janice, who gave his life fighting you. He died so that no Theban would experience what I just did. And I would rather follow him into the grave than experience that once more. Mood. But this will happen again. To me, to others, unless you speak against it. So basically this boss-ass bitch turned around to Alexander and was like, hey, maybe stop being such a piece of fucking shit and tell your soldiers not to rape people.
And I'm assuming Alexander turned around and went, okay, but what were you wearing? Were you asking for it?
I bet you were wearing, like, those sheet, like, toga things. And they're, like, open, so you clearly wanted it.
Maybe instead of telling my men that they shouldn't rape you, you should educate your women to not get raped. That's the appropriate solution to the situation. You just know that that's the way it went down, because that's the way it's always gone down.
Ironically enough. All the while, Alexander listened closely, weighing the life of this openly rebellious woman with that of the loyalist she'd slain. How would he reply? Would he pick apart her claims' details? Tell her what she should have done? Call her a liar? Would he say she deserved it? Trash.
I believe you. That was great.
There's more to say.
That was just great. One could even say Alexander the Great. I am sorry for...
Why do I sound like fucking Batman?
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I am sorry.
Fuck. Jesus, I don't know how Christian Bale does it. Oh, okay. I am sorry for all that you've experienced. You have shown tremendous bravery and eloquence before this chamber today. You are free to go. Men, show her and her family the highest respect. And tell the gods, no abuse like this is to ever happen again.
Bring back Alexander the Great.
Right. So, there is also another version where instead of pushing him down the well, she tricks him to walk down into it. Which I
don't like that as much.
But it's kind of funny. Like, let's be honest.
It's not that hard to trick a man.
That's true.
But
that's, like, literally it.
Okay.
And her speech that, like, I just read out is pretty true to what Plutarch recorded her as having said. But also, like, she also was low-key like, do you know who I am, bitch? I'm, like, a noble bitch. Like... And also there's, like, some things where they're like, did he actually free her? Or...
Yeah, I'm not...
Or was she just not, like, a prisoner anymore and he kept her as a side piece because he liked her?
And then those side piece activities, were they consensual or
not? Yeah.
Because, I mean, historically, men... Need I say more?
Literally, I fucking hate men. But yeah, so that's the cute little story I thought I would tell you. I liked it.
Look, at least you were able to find something to bring to the table to make up for having nothing to bring up to the table.
Thank you for that gentle and sweet reminder.
Let's not forget that last week I literally told you a work of fiction.
Yeah,
So...
fuck you. I almost thought about doing that. I was like, could I pull together something in half an hour while I wait for Jeramie?
I'm interested to see what you do one day to get me back.
No, because we both know I'm fucking gonna get you back.
Oh yeah, we both know it, but I also feel like I might clue on a bit quicker.
I know, it's just gonna annoy the shit out of me.
But I also love, because I can already see it now, that every story I tell from now on, you're going to be suspicious.
Yeah, I fucking will be!
Which is great, because so many of my stories are insane to begin with. Today's, you're going to be like, this is fiction, I'm certain. It is not.
No, but that's like the thing. Every time you tell a story, I'm already like, okay, how can I figure this out? Like, I'm gonna be the bitch who solves this fucking mystery every week. I
was telling Papa about this at work today, but fun fact, I learned the other week that one of Mateo's biggest fears is aliens.
That's random.
Which surprised me, because he keeps saying, "Oh, you should tell a story. You should tell a story about UFOs or aliens or something." Which I'm like, I'm going to at some point.
Yeah.
There's a couple on my list, and he's like, "Yeah, you should do an alien story because you haven't done one yet." Not that he listens, but I mean, I tell him, I make him listen to my notes, and I tell him about the cases. So
yeah, he just doesn't get to hear my part.
No, that's the unimportant part. Yeah, because the other week we were going to bed and he's gone to shut the door. I'm like, "Oh, can you not shut my bedroom door, please? Can you leave it open?" And he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Oh, the door sticks. Like, it's hard to open, and also it gets stuffy in here. So, just leave it open."
Yeah.
And he's like, "But what if there's aliens?" And I've just looked at him and I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" He's like, "I'm just, what if an alien gets into the apartment?" And I'm like, "Well, you think a closed door is going to stop them?" And he's like,
"It's a fucking alien, Mateo."
He's like, "Well, they can't open doors. Didn't you watch Signs?" And I was like, "Okay, so should I just put cups of water on the floor everywhere too?" This is the same man that judged me for checking every room of the house when we got home from seeing a slasher flick to make sure there was not a serial killer in my building, in my home.
I fucking love the movie Signs.
It's so good.
So, now I really want to fucking watch Signs.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it since this happened. And then I was like, I'm so confused. I'm so confused by this conversation right now. He's like, I'm really scared of aliens. And I'm like, how did I not know this until now? Monday morning, I'm at work, and I've been at work for over an hour at this point. And I'm standing there, and I just hear something hit the floor. And I look down, and at my feet is an earring. And I pick it up, and it's one of my earrings. And I'm like, oh, and I reach up, and and I'm like, okay, it's not the earring I'm wearing right now, because I'm wearing that. But and I'm like, this is definitely my earring, though. And it was the earring I had been looking for earlier that morning and couldn't find. So I was like, okay, I'll wear this one instead. And then 3 hours later, an hour into my shift, I'm standing there and randomly this earring drops to the floor. I'm like, where the fuck did you come from?
But isn't that also like, remember Weena having that thing stuck to her shorts the other day? When it started?
Yeah.
Fuck, that was funny. I'm also not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna put some makeup on while you tell your case.
Okay.
I'm not very good at
fair.
it, so you're welcome to judge.
That's going to be really awkward if there's any particular part of my case that I'm like, oh, this is the part we should use as the video.
And it's just going to be me going, what? But it's going to be funny.
That's fair.
Brushing my eyebrows.
So I'm looking at my notes. Well, that first part's not accurate because you didn't cover the case.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
you were going to cover.
Fuck's sake. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm just going to top up my rosé.
That's fair. I just...
So Kirstyn's doing her makeup because we're recording this in the evening so that she can go out and party it up all night on the town on a Friday night.
Bad.
And I'm going to finish recording and then either play Assassin's Creed or Pokemon.
Nerd.
Yes.
Okay, but, like, let's be honest. I don't go out all the time. It just happens to be 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
Because
on the day that we need to record.
Well, because it was someone's birthday last week, and then a couple of people who we wanted to go last week couldn't come.
Yeah.
So then they were like, we'll just go next weekend. And I was like, yes, I would love to go 2 weekends in a row. And when I start at 6:30 the next day.
Yep. And then the following weekend you have whatever the
totally.
secret plan for my birthday is.
I get a break. God, people. Stop
Well,
liking me!
You know what? I get a break because after I leave work next Friday, I don't return until Thursday.
Yeah, fuck you. Don't you have like a 5-day weekend at this rate?
Yes, because it's my birthday.
Just go to work on your birthday like an adult.
No, I flat out refuse to work on my birthday, never have worked on my birthday, never will work on my birthday. Alright. So, this week I wanted something a little bit odd, not depressing, something different, something nice, something unusual. I had actually picked another ghost ship or like a Bermuda Triangle incident to discuss.
Ooh.
But then I didn't start doing my notes until like late last night. Just wasn't in a great headspace yesterday, and I normally do my notes on a Thursday. And that's when I found out that there's kind of too many threads to follow in that one, as I was getting a lot of conflicting information. So that one has gone on the too hard do later pile for now. And instead, I chose a short but sweet one that is definitely strange. So in typical Jeramie fashion, picked a case, changed my mind, and went with a different case. Except this time I hadn't done the research yet, so it's fine. So, I hope you like peaches. Because this week, we are headed to Atlanta, Georgia.
I was going to say, are we going to Georgia?
Yes. And quick note on Atlanta, my brain...
Is it where Atlantis is?
No. Though Atlantis is on my list of mysteries at one point.
I watched that the other week.
Oh, I haven't watched the movie in forever. Oh my god, I have to.
I hadn't watched it in forever either, which is literally why I was like, fuck this, I'm watching Atlantis. It's an iconic movie.
I'm going to have to watch that soon. So I'm going to watch that at some point. But no, my brain will forever associate Atlanta with Catfish. Not like the actual fish, but like the show Catfish.
Fucking love that show so much.
Me too. It is so good. But basically at one point during the series, they dubbed Atlanta the Catfish capital. Because they were going there a lot. I was actually going to include this in my fun facts, but when I looked into it, I found out that Atlanta no longer holds the title of Catfish capital.
Who does?
But I do love me some Catfish, and my brain has just forever connected Atlanta and Catfish.
What a mood. I also love Catfish so much, and I was watching it all on Stan, and then they fucking took it off Stan.
The newer seasons are on binge. I actually really love the new... I mean, I miss Max. I love Max.
Apparently
Max was a cutie.
comes back for an episode. I saw it on Neve's Instagram, I think.
Moving on from Catfish, because I could talk for hours about Catfish.
What a mood.
Fun facts about Atlanta, Georgia. So, The city symbol for Atlanta is a phoenix.
Oh, no.
No, the symbol or the symbol for the state is a peach. Georgia is the peach state.
Oh, right. I forgot that we were Atlanta specifically.
Yeah. Which is the capital of Georgia. Apparently there were 4 other capitals before Atlanta, but Atlanta now holds that title.
Go Atlanta.
So yeah, Atlanta's city symbol is a phoenix. Why? Because the city literally rose from ashes after being burned down by General Sherman during the Civil War.
Alright, bestie. Bit dramatic.
It was the only city in the north to be north. I don't know. It was south. I don't know. Where is Georgia?
The fuck
It's
are
in
you
America.
asking me for? Do I look like I'm from America? I don't have a gun
Anyway.
in my hand, Jeramie.
No, thank you. I do not trust you with a gun.
Rude.
Someone thought it was a good idea once to put a gun in my hands.
I so want to go to the fucking gun range.
So only 400 buildings survived the fire, but it was reborn. And look at it now. I don't have a photo to show you it, but it's bustling.
Look at it now. You can't actually look at it now because I've provided you with nothing to look at. Wow, Jeramie. So glad I have you.
You're welcome. So, despite there being no actual peach trees in Atlanta, there is one Peachtree Street and over 70 avenues, lanes, and drives with some variation of the same name.
That seems a little bit dramatic, guys. Like,
They're a little bit Emily about it.
literally, though.
It is believed that this is because of corrupted pronunciation over time of a local 18th century term for pine trees, which they were referred to as...
Pine tree peach!
Let me say the term. Pitch tree.
Okay, fine.
So that was a local 18th century term for pine trees, and Atlanta is surrounded by pine forests. So it tracks.
So why a pitch tree?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Do keep in mind that, like, when you talk, you do have to get closer to your mic.
Yep, thought about that right as you were saying something.
Atlanta is the home of Coca-Cola.
Ooh.
So it's where it was invented. It's where the inventor
Lizard
is
would
from.
love that.
Especially if it was McDonald's fountain
Post
Coca-Cola.
mix.
Yeah.
Bit of a slut for
And-
post mix myself, though. Not gonna lie.
I just don't like Coca-Cola.
That's because you're weird.
I like vanilla Coke.
We're all like
Otherwise,
that.
I'm a Pepsi boy.
Okay, but Pepsi or Pepsi Max?
Pepsi Max,
Okay,
but
thank you. Because
like-
Pepsi is so gross, but Pepsi Max is so good.
like I don't know. I'm also not like huge on just drinking
Soda.
soft drink on its own.
Yeah, where's the alcohol?
Exactly, but like I feel like I'm more likely to have water or juice before I'll go for soft drink, unless I'm in like a
Same,
specific soft
actually.
drink mood.
I drink a lot of water. I prefer water.
Lastly, I came across some strange laws from Atlanta or Georgia in general throughout history, and honestly, after the ones from London last week, I have decided, and then coming across these today, I've decided that is going to be a new requirement, like a new part of my fun facts segment.
Is going to be stupid laws?
Yes.
Cool.
Because, like, that's a fun thing to look into. So, you may want to not be holding things near your eyes while I'm telling you these. Because you're going to have things to say.
Oh, God.
So, in Atlanta, it is illegal to carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket on Sundays.
Why the fuck would you carry one in your pocket?
Oh, I'm just gonna put my ice cream cone in my back pocket and walk around. Not on Sunday, you're not.
Do you reckon that rule came about because some dickhead went and got an ice cream and then was like, oh fuck, I've got to go to church? Put it in his back pocket and then went to church, sat down and ruined a church pew.
Okay, so I made a point of keeping the website up because I knew that you were going to ask this question. So I got this from onlyinyourstate.com, and this is what they've said about it. This is another one that sounds weird but has a source. Horse thieves apparently used to put ice cream cones in their back pocket to lure horses away. We're not really sure why this is only applicable one day of the week, but we suspect it might be related to horses being tied up during church. It doesn't really provide much of an answer, but it's...
help at all.
Oh, you're going to get even less help. So this one's not an Atlanta one. This is a Georgia one. Mm-hmm. Where'd it go? Don't tell me I've lost it. So I'm not sure if this is a full Georgia. So this, I had two separate articles. One that was specifically for Atlanta and one that is just Georgian cities.
Okay.
And then most of them in this one, it specified the city, and then some of them it didn't. So I'm not sure if that's just Georgia in general. But it is illegal to use profanity in front of a dead body that lies in a funeral home or in a coroner's office. So don't swear around a corpse.
I have so many questions. But also, I would be screwed.
I was so glad that you were not working in any of the areas that I had to work in today, because I could not keep these to myself, and I had to tell people multiple times. So there were times where I was just standing in a room and it was literally nobody. Jeramie, did you know that in Atlanta
they have some really fucking weird laws?
You can't swear around a corpse.
Oh my god, you should have told more girl.
Well, more girl wasn't there. I want to tell more girl. So yeah, that's another fun fact. And now the final one, the final fun law. Keep in mind, we're in Atlanta, Georgia.
Georgia.
It is also illegal to tie a giraffe
what the fuck?
To a telephone pole or a street lamp.
I want to meet the people that these laws are for.
That's why I've decided I need every week to find a new strange law to talk about, because why do they exist?
Who the fuck had a giraffe in Georgia?
Where can I tie my giraffe up?
I want a giraffe. I love giraffes. They're so cute.
Well, don't take it to Atlanta, because you can't tie it to a telephone pole or street lamp. And what happens if you're taking it for a walk and you need to go into a shop to pee?
Wait, so what is it?
It's
a street lamp or a what?
Telephone pole.
So technically, I could tie it to a power pole, because they're different.
Well, a power pole and a telephone pole are basically the same thing.
But it says telephone pole, Jeramie, so...
Okay, Karen. Thought that was your mother's name, not yours.
I low-key want to suggest to Courtney that we take Mum to Karen's Diner for dinner on Sunday night.
I really want to go to there at some point.
I think it would be really fucking funny watching her.
That would
she
be.
Would get so uncomfortable. And I would
I do really want to go to there at some point.
Right?
I also do want us to find a chance to sit down and actually, instead of recording via a Skype call, sit down, in person and record. Yeah.
I bring my Again, I went to call the fucking microphone a microwave. Can I bring my microwave with me?
A microphony?
Let's do it.
Yes.
Or we'll randomly put on a TV show and end up binging the entire fucking series.
Forensic Files?
Ooh.
Unsolved Mysteries. Speaking of unsolved mysteries, I should probably tell you this one. We've done the fun facts. You have places to be. I have games to play. So, this week, I will be telling you the tale of 1114 Fountain Drive. Or, as it's come to be known, the Bleeding House.
Oh.
Once a month. The house bleeds red.
She on the rag! Oh my god.
No, that's the house does bleed, but it's not once a month.
No, it's once every 3 weeks.
It doesn't sync up with the other houses in the neighborhood.
It's low-key really annoying syncing up to someone that you don't want to sync up to.
So, for over 2 decades, this house was the home of the Clyde Winstons, 79-year-old William, and his 77-year-old wife, Minnie.
Those are terrible names.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
I didn't name them, but okay. I will be sure to pass that information on to their ghosts, seeing as they're both dead now.
Bit dramatic, but okay.
On the night of Tuesday, September 8th, 1987, Minnie decided to take a soak in the tub. A nice, long bath to take some time to relax and unwind.
Mood.
William was in poor health and Minnie provided most of his at-home care, so it was well earned. However, her relaxation was also short-lived. She stepped out of the bath at about 11:30 p.m. and noticed the floor felt wet, which, like, no fucking shit, you just got out of the bath, bitch. Of course the floor's gonna be wet. You're wet.
It's raining. Oh no, there's water. What? Misty.
But, so she noticed that the floor felt wet, but that it felt different to water. Slicker, thicker, maybe stickier.
Like sperm.
Ew! William, stop coming on the floor. That
Yeah,
makes it
that's
even
not
more
actually
funny.
what it was.
I made a point of calling him William, but one of the articles that I
Called him Dick.
was going through the most was calling him Willie.
Oh.
So if I had have gone by Willie, Willie, stop coming on the floor.
Oh lord.
Willie or won't he?
That is the question.
Speaking of questions, did I ever tell you about that chick I know who had a timber breast implant?
I'm sorry, what?
I take it I didn't tell you?
No!
Oh. It sounds like it would be a good story, wouldn't it?
I fucking can't with you. I fucking can't with you. You know what? When you said it, I was like, there's no way. Like, that is so unhealthy. Like, there's no way someone would fucking put wood in... Whatever.
She looked at the floor and observed a strange red puddle, so it's not cum. Ruled that one out.
I mean, unless he has, like, an infection.
If your cum is red, you have problems worse than an infection.
What if he has his period? Well, she has her period. What if she's squirted and she has her period? It's gonna be a bit
Of course. It's period cum on the floor.
red. You don't know, Jeramie. It's a fucking mystery.
Good old classic period cum. You know the thing we're talking about, guys.
Period cum. Happens to everyone.
Upon closer look, it actually seemed to not be a puddle from a spill, but to actually be seeping out of the floor itself.
Ew.
Spraying out of the tiles like a sprinkler, as she would later describe it.
So her floor was squirting?
She's a squirter! Babe, the floor's a squirter! Naturally, this was quite alarming, and so she called out to her sleeping husband to wake up and come see this. Babe, the floor's a squirter! Come check her out!
Oh my god.
But, like, in an old lady southern accent, which I'm not even going to try. You're not Georgia, the state. Kirstyn, try and be Georgia, the state, but like an old lady Georgia, the
I
state.
don't think I could go old lady. I've got to, like, channel church when I go southern.
Alright, channel church.
Oh god. I haven't done this in ages.
Just maybe this time if you're going to do the cross, like, do it the right way
I
up.
did it the right way last time.
You did not. First you did a circle, then you did an upside down. You're with the devil.
The Lord helps many of us in different ways. Husband, quick! The floor's coming!
Okay, but like the first one that you said before you started talking about the floor coming made me want to watch The Blind Side.
Oh my god, I love that movie. What a movie.
I don't know why, it just made me think of whenever Sandy B is Southern.
When
I love
he's
me
like,
some Sandy
I've
B.
never had one at any before, and she's like, what? A room all by yourself? He's like, no, a bed. And she's like,
Yeah.
crows and cries. What a mood.
I fucking love Sandy B.
Anyway,
So-
so she called for her husband.
Yeah. The two of them investigated the rest of the house and they found that this red liquid was not confined to the bathroom. It was in fact more or less throughout the whole house. So it was in 4 of the 6 rooms. The hallways, one of the bedrooms, the basement, on the walls and the floors. So it was just like everywhere. And it looked a lot like blood. The pair searched the house to try and find a source for what they assumed to be blood, fearing that maybe a rodent or animal had got into the house somehow and was injured, which, I'm sorry, but what?
Not really
You
understanding thinking than that, but okay.
You see
Your wall's bleeding.
blood coming out of the floors and running down the walls, like a lot of it, all throughout the house, and your first thought is, oh, maybe a rodent got in and it's injured. It's just spurting everywhere.
You know what my first thought would be? Take a fucking video and then get the fuck out.
It was 1987, so I don't know if taking a video was freely available. Today, yes, 100%. But it makes no sense. Anyway, that's what they assumed, what they thought. They searched, they found no clear source. They even went as far as to... So I mentioned that William was in poor health. He had a lot of kidney issues, so he underwent regular dialysis, which meant they had a dialysis machine in the home. And that's like cleaning of the blood. It's like the machine takes your blood, it purifies it, it pumps the blood back into you. So they were like, oh, maybe the dialysis machine is leaking. We should maybe check that. Again,
maybe the dialysis machine is leaking over every surface of the fucking house?
Yeah, again, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all, but sure. Go off, sis. You do you. Whatever bloats your scrote. So, yeah, they checked his dialysis machine for a leak. Also led to no avail. Sure. Surprisingly. Apparently it wasn't also a squirter just spraying it through every room of the house.
I'm so surprised. I thought that's what it was going to be.
Baffled and confused, they called 911 and both police and EMTs were sent out. So, the EMTs were the first to arrive at the scene, and naturally, neither Willem nor Minnie were injured, but they checked to make sure that, like, there was nothing that they might have missed. There wasn't. So, naturally, as neither William nor Minnie were injured, Naturally, as neither William nor Minnie were injured, and there was no one else... Yeah, injured. There was no one else present. The EMTs found nothing to treat, so they left.
Fair.
The police arrived and spoke with the couple and found that they were honest and truthful in their reports that no one else was present in the home. The couple had locked the doors at about 9:30 p.m. and activated their alarm. This, combined with there being no signs of forced entry, ruled out an intruder, and police could not find any evidence of a homicide, crime, or attack of any kind. So the alarm was basically still active until the EMTs arrived, when they turned off the alarm. And the alarm had not been triggered, it had not been set off, it had not been turned off and turned back on during that time. Like, obviously, there's records of that they can check.
Hadn't been tampered with or touched at all.
No. And there were no signs of forced entry either. So there was no way for anyone to get into the house. And also, they checked the house while they were there and there was no one else present. So it wouldn't have been possible for if someone else were in the house to have gotten out either. And on top of that, with this amount of blood, like with what appeared to be blood, they were like, oh, maybe a homicide or some kind of attack.
Like
no signs of...
down.
Yeah, no sign of any of that. So they were like, what the fuck?
They were like, guys, did you, like, kill someone and then disappear their body?
Who knows? Talent. That's a magic trick I'd want to see. They had no explanation, so the police had no explanation for the blood-like substance or its origin. Samples were taken and they were sent to a lab to be tested, and the results came back quickly, confirming that it was, in fact, blood.
Oh.
Human blood at that.
What the fuck?
It was not animal, so it was not just that it resembled blood.
It
was blood. And it was human.
Ew.
So, naturally, the first thought was that the blood may have belonged to one of the couple, possibly even being connected to William's dialysis machine, as I mentioned, as they themselves had thought at the time. However, this was quickly ruled out once it was revealed that the blood was type O, and both William and Minnie were type A.
It's my blood. I'm type O.
I don't know what type I am.
Fuck, do you not know what your blood type is?
I've never asked.
Grow up, bestie.
Why? It's not like I can donate blood.
You just made me remember how shitty humans are.
Yeah. So, even if I was like super rare and necessary, can't donate it because...
Oh my god. You can't.
Well, there's no need for name calling. Wow.
That's not how I say cunt, you know it. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm looking at an article from the 31st of May, 2022. Bisexual and gay men, as well as trans women who have had sex with men in the last 3 months cannot give blood in Australia. Are you fucking kidding me, guys? We're running out of blood in Australia. Apparently, Canada removed the ban this year.
Good job, Canada. There's a reason we like you. Anyway, let's move on from that disgusting, depressing topic. I mean, if I'm entirely honest, even if I was able to, I probably wouldn't donate blood because I don't like needles.
Yeah, but you should have the option.
Yes.
Like...
I should have the option. They literally screen the blood to make sure that it is safe to give to another human. So I don't understand why my blood is any less reliable than your blood.
Oh my god, just because I have a fucking vagina? That's so dumb.
Moving on. A quote from the New York... Well, don't know what that was. A quote from the New York Times article.
That was magical. A quote from the New York Times. New York Times.
A quote from the New York Times article regarding the blood not belonging to either of the Clyde Winstons. I'm gonna do voices too, I've decided. Let me try and figure out how to do...
I'm gonna do voices too.
I want to try and figure out how to do a southern voice.
Oh god, just think Jesus. That's how I get into my southern voice.
We have no leads at this time, said Police Lieutenant Horace Walker. We will continue a routine investigation, and if we find that no crime was committed, we're through with it. As we see it now, there has been no crime. Someone could have done this as a hoax, he said. It concerns me that we don't have any answers. The director of the State Crime Laboratory Laboratory. Do you say laboratory or laboratory?
Lab?
You would.
I'm Australian, Jeramie.
That's true. I feel like I said laboratory.
I
feel like
laboratory.
I interchange between the two.
I think I said laboratory.
Because I know that I interchange between data and data. And
I've noticed that I interchange between batteries and batteries.
I also interchange between route and route depending on the context that I'm using it in.
Because it's routed through there, but I'm going to take this route. Or like you're like, I'm going to take this route, or you should follow that route.
I say the route I would take is, but then sometimes it comes out as, oh yeah, it rerouted us, which makes no sense.
Mood.
Anyway, the director of the State Crime Laboratory, Larry Howard, said blood specialists had gone to the scene. They didn't just go to the sea for no reason, they went to the scene.
We're off to the sea!
They are not impressed, he said, nor am I, that it is a homicide. I don't know how I did with that accent at all. It sounded like it worked to me, but...
It was a magical experience.
Should I do the rest of my case in a southern accent, or whatever the fuck this accent that I am doing is?
Yes, and I will only respond to you in an accent.
Okay, well let's see how long I can hold this up for. Hopefully this isn't the reason that people turn us off and stop listening, because I do know that people seem to enjoy our accent, even though it makes us sound slow and dumb.
I don't think our accent makes us seem slow and dumb. I can think of multiple other accents that seem slow and dumb.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also the fact that I also talked about this last night. I was like, I don't understand why so many Australians, especially women, like to inflect up at the end of a sentence so that it sounds like they are always asking a question.
I'm going to switch to my own accent for a quick second. I don't do that.
You just did. You don't do it always, but you do it occasionally, I do it occasionally. It is a very Australian thing, but it is most common in women, I've noticed, and there are some women that only talk like that, where every sentence is a question.
Actually, you know what? I can think of someone.
We've known a few people mutually that do that.
It makes having a conversation with them really fun. It makes me want to fucking neck myself.
Fair. Naturally, this event led to a lot of public attention. The Clyde Winstons did not enjoy this attention. And while both the blood and the theories dried up quickly, interest did not.
What were
I'm
they
not
expecting
sure.
when their house bled?
Well, I'm not sure what they expected. There's not really been, outside of Amityville Horror, which, let's be real, was a hoax, there has not been many reports of a house that bled. I've noticed that I have to move my mouth a very specific way to make these sounds happen. And
Actually, I think I read somewhere that, like, your accent is also, like, based on how much you move your mouth, or I was watching an interview where I think it was Tom Holland, and he was talking about switching between an English accent and an American accent.
Oh yeah, English accent, they would have, like, very little lip movement. Well, British people don't have lips, for starters, so...
Savage.
Is it wrong?
That's why white people don't have lips. Because the fucking English invaded everywhere.
Well, yeah, like, a lot of it does come down to mouth movement, because, like, we move our mouths different ways based on what we're saying, how we're saying it. So it makes sense that would affect
The
accents. But yeah, if I think about it, it does make sense that, like, talking British there's less movement
I
because
think he actually said that there was...
British speaking, it does seem like there's not much movement because a lot of the sounds kind of slur together.
I feel like that was more Scottish.
Yeah, but it's close enough. Close enough is good enough.
Coffee. No, yeah, because I feel like Americans really use their mouths.
Yeah.
Like, coffee. I need some coffee. I mean, like, I have to, like, fully open my mouth to make that noise.
But it also comes down to which part of America is talking as well, like... because there's, like, so... It's not quite as evident, like... Speaking to an American, it is quite easy to pick up. Like when we had that American co-worker, someone was like, "Oh, where do you think they are from? Where do you think they're from?" And I just kind of stood there and I'm like, they're definitely not from the East Coast. They're definitely not from the South, not from the North. I'm gonna say probably Northwest. I'm gonna say maybe Oregon. That was my guess.
Are you right? I don't remember where she was from.
She was from Oregon. I did also say another state. I don't remember what the other state was. This was like 2 years ago now. But literally, I was just like, my guess would probably be like Oregon. And they threw out another state. I'm like, oh god, no, she's definitely not from there. That's like Texas. A whole other accent. And then looking at me, I'm like, Americans, the regions have very clear accents and dialects to them. Like, you may not always be able to tell the specific states apart, but you can be like, oh, well, you're somewhere in this group.
Yeah, you can tell if it's like in the Weet-Bix or the soggy part.
Anyway, I was telling you a story.
About a bloody house.
Yes. I'm not sure how long the public and media attention lasted, but I do know that come November, the police gave up on the case as there was no evidence of any crime having been committed. The couple continued to live in the house without further incident. William passed away 2 years later in 1989. And Minnie lived on until 2015, passing away at a ripe 104 years old.
Damn.
I'm done with... Yeah, get it, go. I'm done with the accent.
That's fair.
I do want people to continue to listen to us. I had fun. Probably the one accent that I can actually do, though. And maintain.
Mood.
Actually, I distinctly remember my birthday a couple of years ago when you and I sat and went live on Facebook and Instagram and were just like reading all of those dad jokes, but we both kept we both had an accent, and then after a while we would change the accent, and I had to like sit and process how to change from Southern to British. And I was like, cup of tea. No,
I remember that. You just kept repeating it, and I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And you were like, "I'm trying to do British," and you were like,
I was like, "Cup of tea." Oh, I've got it now. All right, we're ready to go. Let's go. Oi, oi.
Keep going now. Fuck me, that was funny. So good.
And when we were doing that, we literally asked the question of, if we had a podcast, would anyone listen to it? And people were like, yes. And it still took us 2 years to start a podcast.
That tracks on my record.
Yeah. 6 months after the incident, Kurt Rowlett, which I hear that name and all I can think of is the Pokemon, the guitarist for Atlanta cult rock band The Tombstones and avid paranormal researcher, reached out to the couple to discuss the night their house bled, which he wrote about in his book Labyrinth 13, True Tales of the Occult, Crime and Conspiracy. Which, even as someone who doesn't have the attention span to actually read a book, sounds like a book I fucking really want to read. And I happened to find an ebook version of it that I have on my computer. So if you're interested, I can forward it to you as well.
Yes,
So, following the events, they had actually changed their story a few times.
Shit.
At one point, no, not in regards to what happened, just in regards to, oh, no, it wasn't blood. So,
Still weird.
you'll understand why in a second. At one point, they claimed it was red dye from a rug that had seeped out, all over the house. Another time, they claimed it was just rust and mud. But according to Rowlett, the line that they maintained when they spoke with him was that it was contaminated water from leaking pipes, possibly the rust and mud. Just a thought. Rowlett said, Mrs. Winston emphasized to me quite strongly that if the substance had actually been blood, that she would not be willing to stay in the house anymore.
Not gonna lie, that was my question. Is when you were like, there remains there with that incident. I was like, the fuck you mean there remains there? If my fucking house bled, I would be like fucking 86ing out of there so bad.
Oh, 100%. Yeet yourself right out of there, burn the house to the ground, gone.
Get that insurance money, guys.
Naturally, this is obviously refuted because it's, they literally have lab results confirming it was in fact human blood, but he speculates that she simply didn't want it to be blood, so she refused to believe it to be, so that she could continue to live in the home that she had lived in for 22 years prior. Like, it makes sense. If flat earthers can exist believing that the earth is flat and refusing to accept actual proof that the earth is a globe,
that's fair,
then someone can ignore lab results confirming it was human blood and say, no, it wasn't blood.
Jeramie, didn't you know that if you tried to sail the world, you'd just sail right off?
Oh, sign me up. I am ready to yeet myself off this earth via sailboat. Someone give me a sailboat.
I do have my boat license. No idea how to ride a fucking sailboat, but I can, drive another kind of boat.
I was going to say I don't have any license, but then I remembered I have my pen license.
Fucking winning!
I can write in pen, y'all!
Woo-hoo!
So, theories. Oh, B has some to add, apparently.
Thanks for that shake right then, B. She's been asleep this whole time.
There were a couple that I read. Firstly, the hoax theories.
Fair.
So yeah, detectives speculated that the blood was purposely flung around the house either by the couple themselves or by one of their children.
Oh. Fuck you,
So-
Mum and Dad!
Yeah, fuck you. Okay, so as William was regularly undergoing dialysis, they theorized he would have access to blood, and this may have been a ploy to get more attention from their children. Again, the blood type didn't match, so that doesn't track. Their daughter was a nurse, so it was also speculated that she would have access to blood, and that she had flung it around the house to have her parents deemed incompetent for financial reasons.
Every time you say, flung around the house, all I'm envisioning is, on the old Oprah shows, where it'd be like, you get a prize, you get a prize, you get a prize. All I'm envisioning is, you get some blood, you get some blood, you get some blood, you get some blood.
I love that, though.
As she's, walking around the house.
It's not sanitary, it's not hygienic, but I'm here for it. Blood shower, let's go! Also doesn't add up, though, as the alarm hadn't been tripped or turned off. So, how would the daughter have got in the house and flung the blood around? Even if she had a key and the alarm code.
Yeah, it would still record her coming in.
Yes, so
That's a bit...
doesn't track. The other main theory in this actual case that I'm discussing is that it was paranormal in nature. So, Police looked into the history of the house to see if they could find anything there. Keep in mind, the Winstons have lived there for 22 years at this point.
And nothing's happened.
No. So, the prior resident, the person who had lived there before them, or people who had lived there before them, were Albert Thompson. I gave him their last name. Albert Thompson and his wife. Albert, much like the Winstons, was a black man. And on...
Did you say that they were black?
I did not, but it is important in regards to this theory.
Them white this whole time. Holy shit, I'm like inner racist. Oh.
Well, you're showing your true colours.
I feel gross.
Albert, like the Winstons, was a black man, and on Halloween of 1950 was T-boned by a white driver who suffered no injuries nor charges.
Fucking white people.
Albert was treated and sent home, where he later suffered internal bleeding and died. It has been theorized that the house was bleeding for justice for Albert, given that the anniversary of his death was not far off, and that the cause was internal bleeding.
But why didn't it happen on any of the other anniversaries?
Literally. And when they say the anniversary was approaching, it was a month and a half off.
Okay, then...
It was September 8th.
That's stupid.
Others have connected it to the death of another black...
Are they just finding black people to connect the deaths to?
My voice just went janky.
Janky. Janky, Bumblebee. His voice went janky.
Others have connected it to the death of another black man a few days prior to the bleeding at the hands of a police officer who shot at the wrong suspect. Yep, that was happening then too. So ultimately, the main theory in regards to the in the paranormal camp, in regards to the house bleeding, is that the house was bleeding for black justice, which, you know what, is needed. If it takes a fucking house bleeding to get that message across,
but I feel like
we need all the houses bleeding.
If it was like a white person's house bleeding.
Fair.
To fuck with the white person.
Shout out to the houses of all of the racist, shitty white people. Bleed. Anyway, that's all I have for you. That's my case. Do you have a theory, Kirstyn? You keep saying that you're one day going to solve one of my mysteries. Is today the day that you solve the bleeding house?
Is it like a 2-story house?
It was only 6 rooms, so I'm going to say no.
But they had a basement.
They did have a basement, so I guess that is a second floor. I'm just wondering if... Oh, it's only a single story, yeah, with a basement. I'm looking at a photo of it that's covered in blood.
What do they use?
Like, fake blood.
What do they use in movies for blood? Isn't it like maple syrup or something?
It's corn syrup with red and blue food dye, which I've made myself a few times. It's fun.
Does it taste nice?
It tastes like corn syrup. It's not
corn syrup
really
like.
pleasant. It's not really pleasant. It's not unpleasant either. But then it also tastes like food dye too. And your mouth turns that colour. I've chewed on a couple of blood capsules before.
They look fun.
They don't taste nice.
I didn't think they would, which is why I've never done one.
I've drunk a lot of red wine. That looks like blood. Have I drank blood before? Other than my own?
Doesn't some wood kind of seep? Like cedar wood or something?
Cedar wood isn't that red though.
Yeah, but...
Like mahogany is really red, but mahogany wouldn't leak like that. But there are literal lab results confirming that it is blood.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the 80s. How reliable is that blood testing?
More reliable than questioning. It's not going to say, oh, this water leaking out of wood is blood. It's not that unreliable. It's more reliable than Theranos, that's for sure. So, yeah, that was my fun little random dive this week. I am excited that we've now found a topic, or I don't know, topic isn't the right...
Subject?
No, subject isn't the right thing either. A
Vibe.
means... A vibe. A vibe is good. A vibe for our bonus episodes, which we want monthly. So we'll record this month's one next week, which at the time that this episode airs is going to be like
July.
the next day. So don't send us stuff for that one. But maybe it's a good idea to start sending us ideas for future ones. Random things that you think that we should discuss, Google, or look into without any prior knowledge of.
Or just random things that you think we will have a funny or interesting reaction to.
Yeah.
Give me your random facts.
Something that you just think we might have a hot take on.
Which could be anything, Jeramie. We both have a hot take on pretty much everything.
We both have hot... What was my hot take this week? Don't sneeze on babies.
Yeah, don't sneeze on babies, guys. You heard it here first. Don't sneeze on babies.
Don't sneeze on babies.
Sneeze on fully sized humans, but not babies.
Don't do that either. Don't sneeze on anyone.
Just in general, don't sneeze on living things. It's just rude.
Yes. Sneeze on corpses all you like. Just don't swear in front of them in Georgia.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kirstyn, if people wanted to reach out to us either to tell us we're pretty, give us feedback on the pod, tell us, suggest cases, or give us suggestions for our newly discovered bonus episodes, how can they do so?
So, if you want to send us an electronic letter, you can at rfimhpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to give us a stalk on Twitter or Instagram, it's at rfimhpodcast. If you want to go that step further in your stalk and be a little bit of a Joe, you can find Jeramie at
Jeramie Gage.
And you can find me at Sir Kirsty Lee. We also now have Facebook, which we've had for a while. I don't know why I said also, because I'm staring at our YouTube page. Anyway, so we also have a Facebook page. It's just called Rent Free in My Head Podcast. And we are now on YouTube. And it is also called Rent Free in My Head Podcast. I did just test it out. If you literally just type in Rent Free in My Head Podcast on Google, our Podbean will pop up first, and then I think it's the second or third search, which is our YouTube, which is super duper exciting. Anywho, gang friends, we hope that we have, grabbed our little bags of weirdness this week and unpacked them all over your brain and set up a little bit of space rent-free in your heads. Because fuck me, we did it to each other in our own heads.
Yeah.
So,
but, Kirstyn, before we go, I do have one question for you.
hit me.
What blood type are computers?
What?
What blood type are computers?
I don't know.
Typo.
Oh, for fuck. I was trying to think of something that would relate to computers, and I was like, negatives? No, that's photography. What would have anything to do with computers? Oh, honestly, you're just too funny, Jeramie. You're too funny.
You heard it here first. I'm too funny.
But I'm the funny
Now I just need people to tell me I'm too cute. Well, see, my issue is that I'm not only too funny, I'm also too serious. I bounce from one to the other. So I'm like, no, Kirstyn, we need to do this correctly.
I said doo-doo.
I did say doo-doo. Doo-doo is poo. I still cannot get over the day that I said something over the earpiece, and then immediately I got a phone call from Lizard, and she was just like, you said doo-doo.
Sounds like her completely.
Yeah.
Not shocked. On that note, though, Jeramie, it is time to scoot, little newt.
Yeah, I'm having none of that. You can just... Goodbye to the listeners. I like you. Kirstyn, just... I'm gonna yeet you away.